That's what I'm talking about, Jake. They did it. The boys did it. We did it.
Number one seed.
Number one seed in the AFC. The Tennessee Titans getting it done in the first ever Week 18 in Houston by a score of 28-25. There's lots to get into, Jake. There's lots of looking aheads to get into as far as playoff matchups and scenario goes, but we're going to try to cover everything as best as we can. If you can't tell, I just started throwing on blue stuff. I'm just feeling it. This is my number one seed garb. Got the scarf, sunglasses. It's too much. I'll disrobe a few of these things.
No, it's
okay.
I'm just so you should keep it. Yeah, I don't blame you.
We're all just feeling so good about this team in Nashville and the job that Coach Mike Vrabel, you're surely, if anyone has any sense, is your coach of the year for the 2021 season. But let's talk about this game first, Jake. So Titans, dude, we were doing what we were hoping we would do. We seized control early. We went up 21-0 on these Texans. We thought, man, this is great. Texans, they are, 2 quarters away from going home on vacation. They're probably just looking ahead. They came out swinging, but man, the Titans just threw some hard punches first. But then the third quarter happened, Jake. Explain to me what happened in this third quarter, because this is one of the worst third quarters I think the Titans might have put together over the entire season without turning the ball over. Thank God we didn't turn the ball over.
Yes.
We might be talking about a different result here, but that was an absolute near disaster of a third quarter as the Texans fought back to make it a 21-18 game. Then, oh boy, the Julio Jones finally getting in the end zone was such a beautiful thing to see. Kind of putting that game really out of reach. Texans again with the greatest, duo of Davis Mills to Damian Amendola we've ever seen in our entire lives. How in the world is any defense supposed to shut down this type of passing attack? The Titans could not stop 36-year-old Danny Amendola. But luckily, when the Titans got the ball back, we milked the final 4 minutes out. So, no, just a little stress, but it came, and then it went, and then the Titans found themselves as the number one seed in the AFC. But, yeah, kind of a scary third quarter there, Jake. The Titans just couldn't let us have a comfortable win. But, yeah, what are your thoughts? What's your takeaway here?
Yeah, man, it wouldn't be a Titans clinching scenario or a Titans game, even any regular game, without this kind of stress added in the second half somehow, some way. Getting a little hot over there, Justin, in that room. But yeah, man. And you said it. Credit to the Houston Texans for coming out in that second half, putting up a fight. Davis Mills spinning the football, man. Give credit where credit is due. Davis Mills threw some absolute dimes yesterday. He finished 23 of 33, 301 yards, 3 touchdowns. And you said it. Who could forget the old man, Danny Amendola? I honestly, Justin, did not think he was still in the National Football League until yesterday.
We didn't mention it one time
exactly.
in our preview video.
Either previews, I don't think.
Off the radar.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I forgot all about Danny Amendola until yesterday. He goes for 7 catches, 113 yards, and 2 touchdowns, Justin. He was getting on the rook, I think. Elijah Molden, he was doing a lot of his work against. And then when Elijah Molden went out, first play, right back to him. And that was when I think it was the 28-25 score for the Houston Texans. But yes, the Titans did it. They took care of business. They jumped out to that 21-0 lead, which is pretty much what won you the football game. And an underrated kind of thing was that big pass interference. And even if you go before that, Mike Vrabel calls a quick timeout on a Houston Texans third down to leave like 45, 50 seconds on the clock. And the Titans get the ball back right before half, get the big pass interference, and then Tannehill throws his third touchdown to Nick Westbrook-Akina. Absolute kind of team win. I was really hoping the defense would continue pitching that shutout that they had going in the first half. I thought the defense showed up, played well. They were getting after Davis Mills, not necessarily getting him on the ground, but, applying a little bit of pressure, making it uncomfortable for him early on. But, man, all that matters, Justin, I don't care that it was only a 3-point victory. I really don't care about any of the stats that maybe came out of this one. I don't care that the Titans didn't get to the number one rushing defense in the entire league, which would have been nice. But all that matters, Justin, is I care about the Titans winning this football game and getting that number one seed. Huge, massive implications.
Massive implications for this team. Yeah, definitely. And on a Sunday, which saw the Colts get bounced from the playoffs unbelievably by the Jags. Oh my God, we can talk about that, dude. It is one of the worst collapses in the final 2 weeks of a season for a team that in the media that everybody loved. So they're going to have to live with that embarrassment the entire offseason. Or what I'm saying is that on a Sunday where, weird things are happening. Weird things happen all season in the NFL. So I'm not worried about a little slip up in the third quarter and nearly giving this game to the Texans. Because that would have been awful. But yeah, this league has been so unpredictable all season long. But like you said, the important thing is that this team is the number one seed in the AFC and will host 1-2 playoff games. I mean, hey, this team, we're done playing true road games for the rest of the year. We have the 3 total games we could possibly play, and obviously 2 home playoff games and then a neutral site field, unless we face the Rams.
Yeah,
they just we already beat them on their home field earlier this year.
Just go do it again, I guess.
Yeah. So is that really a home field advantage for them? I don't know, but man, the Titans are in such good position, getting healthier, getting Derek King himself, Henry, back into the fold. There's the shirt, the sword, and the crown. It's awesome. I love that.
Thank you.
And Deontay Foreman, Dontrell Hilliard also, I thought, ran pretty well today too. So got a running attack that's going to be licking its chops and ready to rock and roll in a couple weeks, no matter who we're going to be facing. But let's talk about Ryan Tannehill and this man who has played and started in all 17 games, never really even came out unless Logan Woodside knelt the ball in a victory formation. But how about this guy steadying the ship? He has endured criticism. He has had his games where he did not play very well. But despite the rotation of weapons and not having the King Henry to lean on and possibly some shoddy pass protection in games here and there, dude came out and it was so nice to see him deliver a 4 touchdown performance to 0 interceptions. I thought he played very well in this game. And I saw a stat where this is like the second time, or it's the first time since 1990 in which the Titans/Oilers had 4 players go over 50 yards receiving and a touchdown each. And they're all are like big weapons too. We got them all involved. A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, best game from Anthony Ferkser, and then Nick Westbrook-Akina. Dude, look at what having A.J. Brown and Julio Jones on the field does for Anthony Ferkser. I think these last 2 games, we've seen the Ferkser that I think we've wanted to see all year long. We just haven't had A.J. Brown and Julio Jones to, draw some coverage or open things up for him. So I'm loving the way how we're throwing Anthony Ferkser back into the passing game. And it's like defenses have got to be thinking, oh yeah, here's this guy. We haven't had to worry about accounting for him all year long. But I mean, if they're fully healthy, he could be an instrumental part of this passing game now come playoff time. So great performance from the passing game and these weapons that are all now finally healthy together.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah, you said it. Tannehill spreading the ball around, especially as of the past couple of weeks. I feel like he was hitting, 8 or 9, maybe 10 receivers in that Dolphins game, even with, the rain coming down and everything. You said it, 9 different Titans caught passes on Sunday. Nick Westbrook led the pack with 4 catches, 78 yards. A.J. Brown, 4 catches, 68 yards. Julio, 5 for 58. Anthony Ferkser, 4 for 56. That is the perfect recipe for this Titans passing offense. And that's, that's without everybody biting on a play action to Derrick Henry. That's without, I mean, they leaned on Foreman pretty heavily. He had a decent game, 21 carries, just about 70 yards on 3.3 a carry, but they committed to running Foreman. But man, you said it, Tannehill played the game that I think Titans fans and even myself personally needed to see him play. Because you talked about he endured criticism throughout the whole year. I am no different. I was one of the people criticizing Ryan Tannehill throughout this season. You look at, obviously the Houston game, 4 interceptions. And then, shoddy pass protection. He's kind of missing or holding the ball too long. And It was just really, really great to see Ryan Tannehill come through, even in the clutch, Justin, when he needed to. Dude, possibly the highlight of his Titans career thus far. Ryan Tannehill escapes from the sack, which was a sure sack. Taylor Lewan's even right there just watching it happen. Tannehill spins out, comes to his right, hits Westbrook-Ikhine, who was all alone on the sideline on a 3rd and 5, I believe it was. It was definitely a 3rd down conversion. So unbelievable. You love the performance from Ryan Tannehill. And whenever Derrick Henry comes back, it is just going to be that much more of a boost to an offense that you saw kind of open up in the first half, at least on Sunday.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, that play, going back to that, everyone's been said it before, but we got to say it here on Titans too. That was a Steve McNair play, dude, in the clutch and just making something happen when everything is about to go to crap. And I kind of got chills listening to the post game radio show 104.5 The Zone with Kevin Dyson, Mickey Ryan, and Blaine Bishop. They had a caller call in and was like, I have a theory that, the Titans, they had lost all momentum. It was that 3rd down. And I think McNair was watching us from the skies, and he reached down and touched Tannehill and was like, boom, here's some of my power. I'm transferring it to you. And dude, he did. I know you were young, but I saw McNair make those kind of plays all the time as a Titan. And now Tannehill is channeling some of that. And dude, it's a beautiful thing. That was a playoff must-have type of play. Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of Ryan Tannehill I think we want to see and we're going to need in this playoff run here. Especially, after the less than stellar and disappointing performance of last year's playoff game against the Ravens. I think, the offense definitely struggled in that game. And, we need a playoff ready Ryan Tannehill that we're seeing now for these teams, because every team left obviously is a good football team. We're going to be facing good football teams from here on out. That should go without saying. But yeah, what an absolute stellar play from Tannehill. That was definitely the play of the game, dude. And then I don't want to be negative or critical in an episode like this, but dude, when we were reverting in the second half to the run, pass, and nothing was going, couldn't buy a first down. What are we doing with these deep throws to Julio Jones, who's barely open on a 3rd and 2? It's like I think we had a 1st and 10 and ran the ball 8 yards up the middle, ran it again for no gain, and then throw it 60 yards down the field to a double covered Julio. Like, dude, I was starting to pull my hair out. Emotions were running high. I was alone at home watching the game, and I was pacing back and forth like, are we going to blow this? Is Todd Downing really just trying to lock it in and run out the clock? I don't know what kind of plays we're calling or what kind of reads Ryan Tannehill is making. Just, it seems like we're forcing the ball to Julio at times, but, everything kind of, settled a little bit, and the Titans got back to their playing, their style of football in the 4th quarter. To put it away. But got a little nervous, but when we needed a spark, dude, that play is, that should be played on highlights for years to come now. So big time shout out to Tannehill. Yeah.
And you brought up Steve McNair. I've even seen the on Twitter, like a side-by-side clip of the McNair Super Bowl play where he's getting out of sacks and everything. I don't know if it was quite on that level in the Super Bowl waning seconds versus week 18 versus the Houston Texans. But similar play in terms of rolling out, finding somebody, hitting them in a huge moment. But you got to give it to McNair. The moment was just a smidge bit bigger. Oh. even though I mean, I feel like this game on Sunday was a playoff game, Justin, and that's why nervousness was high when all of a sudden Houston comes out, scores 18 unanswered, and that was what led to the Ryan Tannehill escape act, hitting Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. That would have been like our 4th 3rd and out in a row, if not Tannehill making that play. And I just want to give a shout out. I know we kind of mentioned him earlier. Anthony Ferkser getting back involved in this passing game is going to do wonders, Justin. We've been he was our guy all last year. We were the presidents of the Anthony Ferkser fan club. Ferks down. I had counters every single week for all of his first down catches. But he is returning to form as like a first down pickup guy. And then he's caught touchdowns in the past 2 games he's played. And that's just the kind of momentum you like to see rolling into the playoffs. And it's going to take an all hands on deck. It's going to take a clutch play from Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. It's going to take a clutch play from Anthony Firkser. It's going to take all these guys to really propel this Titans offense because, third quarter letdown aside yesterday, I still really, really believe that this Titans defense is a championship level defense. I think they can do it. We've seen them do it against more quality competition than Houston.
Yeah.
So I do believe in the defense. My main concern moving forward is, can this offense score enough points when they're, having a third quarter like they did yesterday? They're going to have to score when they have the opportunities. I've seen that the Titans have been good down the stretch as far as converting red zone trips into touchdowns. There was that shaky period, Houston and New England and Pittsburgh games where they couldn't quite get it done. But they've been good coming down the stretch, scoring points. And this is my main concern. Do you have a main concern, or maybe you can flip it even positive? Do you have a main, let's see here, benefit to this Titans team? If I can find a word to describe it, do you have a positive and a negative for this Titans team heading into the playoffs?
I would say I still am a little on the fence, and I have trust issues with consistency of Todd Downing and the play calling and just a game plan in general. He looks great at times when we execute these plays. A lot of pitch stuff. We ran more pitches in this game. I don't know, maybe just the past couple games, or maybe we've been pitching it to Foreman for a while now. But I thought that was just run into the ground over and over again. And I don't know. I just worry about maybe playing it safe. I know we're getting Henry back, and we're going to have to run the ball, obviously. But I kind of want to see some aggression in the passing game. Let Tannehill sit back there and thrive with his new plethora of weapons. Julio and AJ on the field at the same time. And again, Anthony Firkser, wow, do we have a receiving threat at the tight end position? Finally, it looks like it took him 15, 16 games, but Firkser has emerging as an actual receiving threat from the tight end position. I don't know. That's not very specific, but I'm a little concerned here and there. I'm sure the offense in the playoffs, we're going to have times where we go 3 and out. And what are we doing? Mm-hmm. Let's get aggressive. But a lot of times I think we're just setting up things for the future, setting up maybe play action, those deep shots to Julio. That's something that's missing from this passing game. Obviously, we do not have a deep passing game whatsoever. Mainly a lot to do with the receivers that are available to us. But Nick Westbrook-Akina is not that guy. A.J. Brown can do that. But I think he's better in that mold of a yak kind of guy, getting him open in space, letting him break tackles. Julio Jones can be that guy. He's not as fast as he once was, but we saw him do that in Seattle when he had his best game as a Titan, going over 120 receiving yards. So maybe we're trying to establish some of that again. So it would be nice to have that, like the playoffs a couple years ago, the Khalif Raymonds, just get us a huge shot play. That's kind of something that's been missing from this offense. So maybe we can come into these playoffs with something new. I know you don't want to change your offense. You want to keep what's gotten you there. You want to, be true to your identity, especially with the best running back in football coming back. But it'd be nice to see some different things, some creativity. The lack of creativity may be my answer what I'm concerned about from the offense, especially when we need a spark. If we're just running our offense and it's working and they can't stop the run, they can't stop the Tannehill short to mid passing game to, A.J. Brown, Anthony Firkser, et cetera, then fine, good. But we need to be ready to have some creativity. I thought that entire Baltimore Ravens playoff loss from last year, we never could get anything going or generated, and we weren't creative, and they just shut us down for 60 minutes. So if something like that should happen again, I want Todd Downing, to have some plans in his back pocket and open things up for this offense that for the first time, it feels like all season we're going to have all hands on deck, which is crazy. And my positive, we can lean on this defense in bad times. The end.
Yes.
That's my positive. I'm excited about this defense. I know, it is a little concerning that, Davis Mills, I think he could be a guy, for Houston or for another NFL team. He's put on some good tape this year for anyone that may want to try to pursue him. But dude, Danny Amendola, Nico Collins, 3 catches, 67 yards. These guys were making plays against this defense and this secondary in particular. So I don't know if that raises some red flags or if we were just playing a very conservative style of defense and they were, taking advantage of what we were giving them. But I do trust this defense, and I can't wait to see them come our first playoff game. And I think we, more than anything, can lean on that for a potential Super Bowl run. Yeah.
Definitely. And we've said it leading up to this moment in time, Justin, where the Titans are the 1 seed and they've already advanced to the second round of the playoffs. Defense wins championships, man. And that is forever true. You can have all the Mahomes and Lamar Jacksons and Justin Herberts and Joe Burrows that you want in the entire world, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, yada, yada, yada. But you're going to have a defense that can get it done when your offense does fall on hard times. It's 100% true. I really love what you said about Todd Downing coming up with an ace in his sleeve, something that might not be on film already, or something that can drag this Titans team out of that, run, pass, punt slump that they can get into, man. It'll be 3-4 series in a row. And you just see the shifts, and, you see AJ Brown kind of come in tight on the line, and you're like, well, this is a run. And if I know that drinking beer on my couch, NFL defenses are going to know that before I even did. So I like that idea of having, a deep play shot. I don't know about a necessary a trick play or anything like that. I'm always the mindset, don't get cute unless it really works, or you can always change my mind with exactly.
That was a cute play that worked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I like the ace up the sleeve kind of thing for Todd Downing to get this offense out of the rut. Yeah. Justin, shall we look ahead to the playoffs?
Yes, we will. I did think of one more negative that could be cause for concern. Randy Bullock, man, missed pretty bad. Are we going to trust him to go up there and knock in a potential game-winning or game-tying 50-yard field goal if we need it? And dude, even after that, he had some kicks that just kept hooking left. I know he snuck in a couple extra points, but it looked like he was just feeling a left turn on almost all of his kicks. And yeah, he missed that field goal bad. And it was a 43-yard field goal, not an impossible, not an easy, but not a super difficult kick to make.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was, I don't like seeing Randy missing the game, the last regular game of the season. There's no room to miss. Titans have lost playoff games from a failure of the kicking game. Yeah. So let's not have another Aldel Greco scenario. You older Titans fans will know what I'm talking about.
We'll see if Randy. Well, is Aldel Greco the guy who did the roughing the kicker in the Steelers game?
No, that was Nedney.
Nedney, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
we
right.
had him for a few years, and he was really good. But we might need a Randy to put, if he's going to shank a kick, he needs to take an acting class from Joe Nedney's School of Acting and flop down. I mean, he got run into. I'm biased, but he got run into. But he definitely just did a little flail and fall. Maybe it saved that game for us. But
classic, dude.
It was the 2000 Ravens playoff game when he missed 2 or 3 kicks, had one blocked for a touchdown. It was a disaster. So yeah, let's not do that, Randy. We need you to just go out there and make your kicks. That's what we brought you here for.
And we might come back to this segment in the future, Justin, to just select this clip potentially. But I'm with you, man. I had a feeling in the pit of my stomach. I thought about tweeting it or something, but I was like, nobody wants to hear this. I just have an awful, terrible feeling that Randy Bullock is going to pull a kick and all of a sudden, boom, it's over. I don't know what game it will be in. I don't know if it's the divisional. I don't know if it's in the championship. I don't know if it's in the Super Bowl. But there's going to be a Randy Bullock pulled kick and then the rug's swept out from under us. So I'm putting that out there. I'm knocking on wood. I don't want that to happen, obviously. But please, Randy, please, just kick him straight. Or we can just score touchdowns and not even have Randy Bullock on the field. That would be great.
That would be the best. Yeah. Dude, and that's the tragic thing about it is all the goodwill and good feelings we've developed for Randy and this just having a consistent enough kicker because to be remembered for whatever he may do badly in the playoffs. That's exactly what kind of happened for Aldel Greco. He was a kicker for 15 plus years for this franchise, I think, or maybe for this franchise he was here for 6 or 7 or 8 years, but He was a solid kicker for his whole career, but the only thing Titans fans are going to remember him for is the horrible game, playoff game against the Ravens, and he retired after that. So now everyone nobody likes him anymore. That's being too mean.
Brutal. We've made Randy our friend.
Yeah. And you could change your legacy due to a single playoff performance like that as a kicker. I guess any player in general. But anyway, there's not enough wood for us to knock for us to not curse ourselves and for that to actually come to fruition. But anyway, yes, let's look ahead to this playoff field. So real quick, I got the matchups here. We'll just talk about the AFC because that's what's relevant to the Titans. So the game starting on Saturday. It is the 5-seeded Raiders. How about the Raiders going from no playoffs to jumping to the 5 seed, thanks to the Colts loss and their dramatic overtime win against the Chargers. They will be at the number 4-seeded Bengals at a 3:30 Central kickoff time. Then that night, got the divisional matchup, New England at Buffalo, a 6 versus 3 matchup. So 2 AFC games here, Jake. And then the other one is going to be Kansas City and Pittsburgh on Sunday night. Yeah. So you said before we came on that it is impossible for the Titans to face Kansas City or Buffalo in the second round, with them being the 2nd and 3rd seeds. Titans will play the lowest remaining seed to come out of Wild Card Weekend. Jake, is there a team that you may prefer in a sense, or you think we match up better against? And is there a team you're like, I don't want any part of them? Do not come to Nissan Stadium with this team. I do not want to face them. Excuse me. Who are you looking at in this AFC playoff field here for a potential Titans divisional matchup?
Yeah, and there's one obvious outlier here. It's kind of like the game, like which of these is not like the other in this AFC playoff field. And of course, talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, who got in on a hope and a wish that the Jaguars might upset the Colts. And, that Raiders Chargers games comes down to a last second overtime field goal. And if that ended in a tie, if they missed, the Steelers would have missed the playoffs. So they're in on a hope and a prayer. Big Ben gets one more shot at his retirement tour, which has been dragging on now for 2 or 3 years at this point.
It's never going to end.
And so I would love another shot at Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers because the Titans really, really gifted and handed them that game a couple of weeks ago, and that left a really bad taste in my mouth just because of my personal vendetta against the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as, I would love to end another dynasty, if you want to call the Ben Roethlisberger Steelers a dynasty, because we kicked Tom Brady out of town. Once Big Ben comes to Nashville, he's going to go down too. So that's Pittsburgh is the team I would like to see. A team that I don't want to see, and this goes back, I mentioned about a week ago, a Bengals friend of mine was like, I want the Titans. I want the Titans. Well, I was like, I don't really want the Bengals, if I'm being completely honest here.
I'm with you.
They just seem like a young team who is playing with a lot of swagger and like almost house money at this point, because they were supposed to win 5 or 6 games this year. And now they found themselves as the 3 seed in the NFL playoffs, playing really, really well. And a lot of people do like them. So, I don't want to see the Bengals. I guess the other team I'd maybe prefer to see is the Raiders, just because nothing particularly scares me about the Raiders, and they've been through a ton this year. Oh yeah, except Mariota revenge factor. That would be huge. He's going to have like an 80+ yard touchdown run in Nissan Stadium like he once did.
It would hurt so much. Oh God.
But what about you? Do you have a favorable matchup for the Titans?
I'm 100% with you. I do not want to see the Bengals too, man. I mean, they are in the general term of wild card, not like a playoff wild card, but they are a wild card in these AFC playoffs because, dude, they have that offense and that connection. And Jamar Chase, geez, the rookie of the year, he has to be. They have a terrifying passing attack and a good running back in Joe Mixon. Joe Burrow, you got nothing to lose. He's a young quarterback in his first playoffs. He's going to let it rip. I mean, I think they take care of business against the Raiders at home for sure. So that being the 4 seed, they would come to Nashville
or 4 seed. I think I said 3. Sorry.
Yeah.
The Bills are the 3 seed?
I think so, because the Bills are the 3 seed. Yeah.
Okay.
So we would see Cincinnati if the Bills beat the Patriots and the Chiefs beat the Steelers, and obviously if the Bengals won. If all the high seeds won, the lowest remaining seed is the 4-seeded Bengals. So they would be in Nashville. I don't think the Steelers are going to beat the Chiefs. They recently played them, so maybe that'll help. They got a little crack at them, and I mean I think they got wrecked a bit.
Yes,
I think it was not
a 20-plus point game, I believe. My memory serves true.
I'm with you. I would love to see the Steelers again. I think we can beat them as long as we don't turn the ball over 18 times. So in general, I don't want to see the Chiefs. I know we already beat them, and I know Titans fans may be pumping their chest out and be like, 27-3, we got them. Patrick Mahomes can't win in Nashville. Dude, no, don't be a fool. It's in the Titans' best interest for us to not have to play the Chiefs. And then just the Bengals. I think I can take the Raiders in Nashville. I'll take either the Patriots or the Bills in Nashville. Bills are kind of a scary team too, but I think, I would take them over Cincinnati, honestly. And obviously I would take the Steelers at home. So, I just don't want to see the Chiefs or the Bengals. I think that would present the most difficult matchup for the Titans. But dude, that's the beautiful thing about it. We can just sit back on our couch, watch the whole thing unfold, and not have to worry or stress about, the Titans game itself. So
absolutely,
man, I'm pumped. It's going to be a fun wild card weekend to watch with no Colts in the playoff field. I can't stress that enough, how enjoyable their collapse was. Man.
That's so tough. And it was in front of a stadium full of clowns, Justin. Yeah. There were hundreds of clowns in the stands, and the Colts go out and just lose the game. Carson Wentz was a train wreck. And I almost feel bad for Colts fans, just almost, because you brought up, how could they miss with their 7 Pro Bowlers and an MVP candidate, and Coach of the Year, Frank Reich, and this and that. That's why I don't feel bad for Colts fans. But I almost do feel bad for Colts fans because, man, oh man, not only did you miss the playoffs because of Carson Wentz, you don't have a first-round pick this year because of Carson Wentz. So it's a double negative for the Indianapolis Colts. And, if you miss the playoffs, you might as well get a high draft pick. And that is something they do not have either. So
unreal.
Sorry to the Colts fans who are watching this Titans tube. I don't even know if Colts fans are going to be consuming any media or thinking about football.
Any self-respecting fan is not going to, continue their torments by reading about everybody making fun of your team and what they failed to do in these last 2 weeks of the season. But dude, it's just more and more salt on the wound with the clowns in the stands, and it's just everything at stake, and the amount of Pro Bowlers and all the media hype, and it just all came crashing and ended. And it wasn't even close, dude. The Jacksonville handled them from start to finish. It was like 26-3 at one point. You got to be kidding me. What happened in Indianapolis? We've had our fair share of complete letdowns and embarrassing losses and season-ending against Jacksonville. Remember the Mariota Fibula game on Christmas Eve? We were in line to win the AFC South, but we completely crapped the bed, lost by multiple touchdowns. Blake Bortles caught a touchdown pass in that game. It was a horribly embarrassing performance. So we've been there. But, dude, I mean, I just think this is on another level, man. I mean, this was a bad team. This Jacksonville team got swept by Houston, and the Colts could not even make it a game and a win and get in scenario for them. I mean, bad loss. It's got to be up there, maybe in league history. I don't know. I just like to over dramatize this.
No, please do. Please do. Well,
so
just in the last
sweet.
The last 2 weeks for Titans fans played out maybe as perfect as 2 weeks of NFL football could play out for any fan base in the entire league. Starting, last week we were at the Dolphins game. The Titans took care of business, clinched the South. You look over and the Raiders beat the Colts. Great, which we thought didn't matter at the time, but ended up mattering quite a bit, Justin.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Bengals took care of the Chiefs to put the Titans back in the 1 seed. And then you flip it, the Titans clinch the 1 seed in week 18. The Colts get eliminated. That was a team I really didn't want to see as much crap we're talking about them. I didn't want to see him a third time. You don't want to see anybody a third time. So that's a team I definitely didn't want to see. But just what a great 2 weeks for Titans fans. It's gonna be a great week to reflect. And like you said, we don't have to worry about anything this weekend. We just sit back and watch who is going to come to us, kind of deal.
Yeah. And again, real quick, I think Rich Eisen had one of my favorite tweets about it. It was like 2 weeks ago, the Colts were a team that nobody wanted to see in the playoffs. Now the Colts are a team that nobody's going to see in the playoffs. Wow. So it took care of itself. Nobody, good job, AFC playoff field. No one has to worry about the Colts now.
Man,
what a season that it has been. I mean, guys, relish this. This is the third time ever that the Titans have clinched the number 1 seed. And, I'm a little scarred because I've witnessed the other 2 times we've clinched the 1 seed, and we got bounced in our first playoff game in the divisional round, both times by the Ravens. So this is going to be different, Jake. Ravens didn't even make the playoffs. So this will be a successful run as the 1 seed for the first time in our history. That's the conclusion I'm forcing myself to come to. But we'll see. We'll see how we fare. We know how good the record that Mike Vrabel has with extra time to prepare speaks for itself. I think he's lost 1 game when he's had more than a week to prepare. And I think it was the Arizona, was it the
season
Cardinals
opener? Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess, and if you count the Miami, if it was Vrabel's first game as a head coach, those are the only 2 losses were season openers. But after Thursday Night Football and following a bye week in season, I think he's undefeated.
Yeah.
Knock on wood again.
Man, but there's just so much to be excited about and looking forward to as a Titans fan. I mean, enjoy the ride. The playoffs can be brutal, and it could end, obviously in 1 game in just a matter of hours. So, be proud of this team, root hard for this team. Hopefully we're going to get a lot of Titans fans in the stands. I'm planning on being there. So, man, dude, I hope the structure of Nissan Stadium is built very sturdily, because when King Henry is announced to come out in the starting lineup, it's going to be an earth-shattering earthquake, and the game might have to be canceled, but it'll still be so exciting. And hopefully, if we get that accomplished, the Titans can win by default and just move on to the next round.
Man,
that was a silly thing to say. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, I even have like butterflies in my stomach thinking about just the being there when Derrick Henry would jog out, and like truly the return of the king.
Come on down.
That place is gonna erupt. I wish I could, man. I really do wish I could. But
if we make it to the AFC Championship game, when's the next time Nashville might host one? We gotta make some special plans. Make a special Titans Tube episode in the stadium. Stream the game. I don't know. But yeah, this is rare. This is a rare grounds we're on here. What was 2008? 13 years ago, last time we were the number 1 seed. And it's kind of been the same feeling, the same story. And it's kind of the same Titans team. Expecting a strong running game, expecting a stronger running game, at least when King Henry gets back. And that was when we had Smash and Dash. Also had a stellar front 4 on defense. Stellar front 4 on defense again. Mm-hmm. I think we did have an actual respectable amount of Pro Bowlers, though. This year, it's only Kevin Byard. I think we had like 5 or 6 Pro Bowlers on defense in 2008. It was pretty ridiculous. So we're not getting that kind of respect. But very similar teams and very similar, like, now the national media is forced to pay attention. And they're kind of like, I could see the Titans making some noise. Yeah, but they're not convincingly the best team in the AFC. I mean, there's no clear front runner. And if I remember correctly, that was kind of the sentiment back then in 2008. So I've seen a lot of similarities. The only good thing is we're not going to see the Ravens this year, even though I would love to exact revenge on them. But I mean, I don't like
success is the best revenge, Justin.
Say what?
Success is the best revenge.
That's
true. When you can't personally take the Ravens out of the playoffs, having success while the Ravens are sitting at home watching you is great revenge. And, that's
a good way to look at it. Yeah.
Even going to Super Bowl odds, Justin, when you're talking about respect or anything like that, the Titans have the 3rd best betting odds in to win the AFC.
Oh,
that's come on. There might be Super Bowl odds, but it's still.
It's probably Chiefs and Bills, both teams who the Titans beat that are ahead of them.
Correct.
I don't know what, maybe we just don't have proper measurables and the good point differentials, the nice, pretty large margins of victory or whatever that Vegas must like to see. But I don't
know. The stat nerds, Justin. Yeah. The stat nerds will tell you the Titans missed the playoffs this year. So sorry. Tough.
This is not a playoff team. It sucks that one of the top teams in the AFC and with the MVP on it missed the playoffs this year on the Colts. And one of the worst teams and a team that shouldn't have made the playoffs is actually the 1 seed. So that's how much stats can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyway, what else? What else do we got here for you? Just an exciting time right now. Playoff weekend coming up. It'll be here before you know it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see who comes out of the crop. We'll see if we can be the cream of the crop out of the AFC. It's going to be hard. Lots of difficult games. But, dude, I'm going to be rooting pretty hard for Pittsburgh. I'm going to be honest. They look so beatable. I mean, they slogged it out in the nasty weather against Baltimore. I mean, good for them for getting the job done. But I think we can handle them if they come to Nashville and we don't have a disastrous offensive performance like we did just like a month ago.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Go Steelers. Take care of the Chiefs. Get them out of the playoffs for us. Our path
to
the
Super
Bowl would be so much more, easy to see. I mean, I trust this team. I think we can beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs again if it comes down to that. But we wouldn't be able to see them until the AFC Championship game. So the Chiefs will have had to have gotten 2 wins as opposed to our 1 win. So maybe they're going to be battle tested, as they say, or battered up and bruised, and and then hopefully, they'll be getting a little weary coming into Nashville. But we'll see. That just kind of rambling now. But
looking ahead. But Justin, I second your sentiment in cherish these times. Stop and smell the roses. Last season, we were stopping to smell the Derrick Henry roses because, we didn't think we were a real contender, especially with how bad our defense was last year. So cherish. You're watching one of the great running back performances and careers maybe ever. So stop and smell the Derrick Henry roses last year. Right now, you said it. It's the 3rd time since the Titans moved to Nashville. They've been the number 1 seed in the AFC. That's pretty awesome. It's a great feeling to have a bye week and you're 2 games away from the Super Bowl, Justin. Just 2. Titans just have to win back-to-back games and they're in the Super Bowl. That's an incredible feeling. Stop and cherish this moment, Titans fans. Think back to going 2-14, 3-13, and think about how hard it was to pull your teeth out every single week to get to 9-7 with Marcus Mariota at the helm. It was, cherish these moments, and times are great to be a Titans fan. Enjoy the next 2 weeks, and no matter who we get, tighten up. And dude, I'm so freaking pumped.
I am too. I'm ready. We're definitely going to be. We might do some videos, maybe talking about maybe doing a picks video. We'll see. Maybe talking about some of these matchups on Wild Card Weekend as we sip our martinis on our couches at home because we do that a lot. I guess we drink martini when we get by in the playoffs.
Yes. We'll have a towel drying our hair and some mimosas and nice glasses, and we'll discuss all the peasants playing in the wild card round. I can't relate.
Yeah, how man, just the low class trash. That's just not that 1 seed like we are. But we're definitely next week going to be doing a preview video breaking down the Titans' first playoff matchup here. But unless you got anything else, I think that's wrapping up our thoughts about the Houston game, and then looking ahead to these AFC playoffs. Maybe one last thought. What are we doing with the playoff scheduling? Why is there a Monday night game? I know it's ratings and money and stuff, but I feel like that's a clear disadvantage to the team that's coming out of and have a short week, and it's the playoffs. I feel like everyone should, if you want Saturday and Sunday, fine, but dude, we need to make this as equal as possible in terms of teams being able to prepare for each other, and having as equal amount of time as you can. Because I don't know how the schedule is going to come out after this, but if I'm like playing on a Monday night, and who's the teams? Is it the Eagles and Bucks? I can't remember what the matchup is, but if I'm playing on a Monday night and then my divisional game is on a Saturday. Like, no, come on, NFL. I don't know. I don't like that. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be awesome to be able to watch a playoff game on Monday Night Football, but I kind of think about, the teams, and every game could be your season. So let's, make it a little more even. So I don't know. We don't have to worry about that. We got the whole week off.
Yeah.
But just to comment, because I know this is the first year that there's going to be a Monday night playoff game.
You got to wonder. You got to wonder who's, if that team comes out and then looks flat the next week. Would the NFL be so cruel to schedule the winner of the Monday night game on a Saturday? I know that none of the divisional games are in stone yet, but I hope the NFL wouldn't be that cruel to a team to make them play on that short a week. That would be tough.
I mean, they do things like schedule I think they had like the 49ers I think the 49ers played on a Sunday night, and then they had that Thursday game against us. And I mean, that's kind of tough too. But anyway, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll just, at least the NFL's making their money. That's all we really care about as football fans.
Yes, the almighty dollar and Roger Goodell's pocket. I think that's going to do it for us, Justin. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Tighten up. Times are great. Titans fans, your Tennessee Titans are the number 1 seed in the AFC as Justin gets back on his number 1 seed apparel. Feeling good, feeling great. Everybody tighten up. Yeah.
Getting my tickets to Los Angeles for the Super Bowl.
It's the two-tone Baron. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
But anyways, everybody, peace out. Everybody have a great week. We'll be back at you with some kind of intermediate video while we take the week off and sip martinis and mimosas. So tighten up, everybody. Peace out.
Tighten up.